They invest in people they believe in. Entrepreneurs, they invest in themselves because they believe in themselves. You know, don't lose that entrepreneurial spirit. Okay, you got something. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Here's-
The rules of
Please.
regulation in every state is different in US. Like California have different from Nevada, I don't know, the compliance section.
So
go ahead.
there's different types of compliance, right? So for manufacturing, what I'm selling right now is compliance for a specific standard. So it's called AS 9100C.
Yeah.
And this specific compliance is for people who want to make aerospace components.
Yeah.
And this is like, if you're compliant with it, then Boeing will buy from you, Lockheed will buy from you, the government will buy from you, right? And if you're not, they won't. Like, it's literally just that simple, right? So if I can guarantee compliance for this one certification, that immediately lightens up the workload for them to focus on other things. So if it's like state by state regulation, it'll be way less strict, way less auditing going on. Or if it's like a lower level diligence, like a manufacturer, this one builds on top of another one, right? So if I'm compliant for this, I'm automatically compliant for everything below.
Yeah,
so
I see.
it solves multiple problems by just being compliant.
But who certificated that the company is compliant?
So when the manufacturer starts off, they have to gain the certification before they start like making any parts. So that means they'll prove that their processes are in place, that they're able to do all these things, right? And the actual certification is quite vague, but it does need to show certain things. So like you need to show, for example, you need to be able to show that from the time a part like a supply arrived in your company, how it got, what machines it went through to become the part that it did at the very end. You need to be able to show every single supplier purchase order and that you actually ordered every single item and from which supplier in the entire history of the company. You need to be able to show like that every single machine you have for all 365 days of the year was up to spec and was not breaking down. And if it did go below spec, you immediately cut it down and fix it, right? So it's pretty vague, right? There's a lot of different ways to show it to you. I can show it to you by displaying an Excel spreadsheet, or I could show it to you by putting it into a quality management system that automatically compiles PDFs for me and then shows it to you in like a nice format, right? But it's pretty broad. And the good thing about that is by offering a different service that's automatable, that still meets these like pre-criteria that the certification needs, I don't need to do it in the same way that they already have been doing it. I can do it in a new way while still meeting the same thing, which allows them to keep their certification and not lose it because they already have that certification.
Yeah, I see it.
That's it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Please.
Hi. So I'm in a whole different industry,
great.
but
That's what we
all
want.
talked about selling.
Good.
I am actually a Spanish translator. I am not from here. I am from Argentina, but I went to school here 13 years ago. So I'm not in college. That was a long time ago. I graduated from San Francisco State with a linguistics degree in translation. And I've been translating for the past 12 years. And of course, we started with dictionaries and paper. That's what we did. And then we actually have been working with computer-assisted software and AI for many years, even before it was like mainstream.
Ooh, that's good.
So
I
we
like
have
to hear
include
that.
AI there. And we mainly, so we do English to Spanish, Spanish to English. I don't know if you know this, but there are 22 countries that speak Spanish in this world, and there's 65 million people here in the US alone. So that accounts for a lot of people who only speak Spanish or prefer Spanish as their main way of communicating. And there are two reasons why translation is not disappearing with AI. One has to do with compliance, with a lot of legal issues, especially in the health industry, which I work with, and technical industries too. Like NASA has lost a lot of money and rocket ships because of translation issues. And people have lost their lives because of bad health translations as well. So science still requires the human eye. We are AI assisted, of course. So what we try to tell the client is if you want to use AI, you can go ahead and use it. I don't work for you. I work for the companies who have a little bit more money to invest on what we think is going to be selling, which is AI doesn't understand culture, tone, and what the other person wants. And so that's when sociolinguistics comes in. So what we do, my partner and I, we have opened up our own LLC like 2 years ago after working with many translation agencies for 10 years, mainly based here in California, where you have a big Hispanic community. And after living here, I realized that we want to be talked in a different way. Like, if you're gonna sell this to me, I speak English. I have native level when I lived here, not anymore because I've been in Argentina for 10 years now. But if you want to sell to me, you need to speak in my language and in a way that I am attracted to this. It has to be appealing. So AI helps with a part of it, and then it comes the sociolinguist and translator and shapes it and sells it in a different way. So in both ways, we've worked with technical companies like Logitech and those tech companies that need to comply with something so they can just do AI. So we work with AI-assisted programs. And then we are trying to go to the wellness and health industries because that's where the money is, we think. Basically, with this whole, after the pandemic, with the whole health-obsessed public that you have here in the US, Hispanics are part of it because they account for a big percentage of the money spent on beauty industry and wellness industry. And people here are obsessed with longevity and staying fit and nutrition and all that. So they are paying extra to have these health coaches and mental health people helping them. Clinics, you would go to a clinic and you would get all these labs. Everything is extra, right? It's not the main necessity, but these people are paying extra for that. So we believe our client has that kind of money to spend on a human to revise the translations instead of going into an AI, which is probably going to screw up their whole marketing campaigns, which we've known it's happened. So, it's hard to convince a client, but we have 2 or 3 good clients right now that are like basically funding our tiny company because it's just the 2 of us. And we are hoping to get more into the wellness industry because all our clients now are tech, all technical, not scientific, but more technical translations. So basically that's what we do. And I'm here on vacation in San Francisco because I lived here for so many years and I love this place. And every time I come, I try to meet new people and I love it because San Francisco is actually the place which, mixes both things, Spanish, English, and cultural awareness as a whole. So thank you.
Wow, I have so many questions. A dozen questions. Okay, so for starters, you mentioned that you were an AI before the explosion, and it's interesting because I'm assuming you were working in LLMs because that's really kind of rare. I mean, most AI was incredibly task-oriented, specific-wise. I mean, heck, AI largely, was dependent upon games as its major growth. I mean, if you look at, AlphaGo to, Deep Blue and all this historical landmarks, right? So for you to be an LLM before the major hitters, I think is actually kind of a big achievement. To be honest.
We started with what's called translation software. Anything like Trados, WordClass. Basically, you would translate. You would have a segment in English.
Okay.
You would translate it into Spanish, and you had what's called a translation memory, and it would save your translation as it was. Then So I'm gonna populate this segment the same way we did before, but you're gonna have to revise it because there's 20% that's different. So let's say you say hello, you would translate hola. Then you have hello, my name is. You only had hello before, so it would give you 50% match, and you would have to add whatever was next. Then came all the AI before. I would say I can't remember the year when we started having these TVs, which are translation-based memories, which were already fed from the internet. So you would have your own translated segment, and you would have a suggestion from the web. So that's kind of how it started to mix with, okay, the world is saying hello is hola, and then the world up there is saying it may be a different word in Mexico, it may be a different word in Colombia. If you are going for a more informal tone, you may not say hello, you may say hi in another country in Latin America. So we've been kind of like seeing that, and we were like, oh, cool. You just had like a plugin in your software, and you could see what the world was saying about that word. And you could even see how it was translated in different countries, because we are 22 countries. So
You're relying on a huge human network of data to be able to pull it off. Yeah, because that would make sense, because, I mean, LLMs were just not that powerful in any way. I mean, let's ask some difficult questions here. ChatGPT, a lot of people think OpenAI pretty much started the LLM revolution where it was functional, right, for language, right? Like, you can even, most people attribute OpenAI to solving the language problem in AI. So, let's say 2020 and before, what was your error rate in AI? How many errors do you think there were? I mean, like, roughly, how good were you? Give me an estimate.
I don't think we even called it AI. It was just, I remember taking courses on
they
natural
kind of did
language processing.
Yeah. In some regards, AI pre to OpenAI was very much sought as AGI, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you look at some famous movies, right? Like what's that one? The Nolan, the AI, the 2015, where Ex Machina. You look at that, 2015. It's not that far beyond, and you can see what they're thinking of AI is. So you're right that maybe we don't really have AI today.
Yeah.
Maybe there is some of that because of that perspective.
All I remember is jumping from, because we study natural language processing, we do linguistics. Computational linguists study this a lot more than I do, but I feel like we were already working with natural language, and then ChatGPT came on. Like, it was like,
they marketed it as AI, and that started the whole explosion. It was a marketing thing, right? That really got the whole.
Go back to when the first time you heard about ChatGPT, I'm sure you were like, let me just check it out. It was like one day to the other. It wasn't like, a process. I feel like one day we woke up and people were like, hey, try this out.
I love it. You've been in AI before me. I love it.
I don't even know if that was the
if
name
you
of
really
it,
want to call it that, right? Yeah. No,
Right?
this is fascinating.
But linguists, computational linguists,
Right.
have been working with this for so long. And now what we are trying to do is to find a way to find I know that one day, I think OpenAI or Google is going to buy all of them, right? And it's going to be one big thing.
They're talking about some crazy merger. I don't think it's going to happen.
Right?
I think they're not. I think too many people are put their feet down. They don't want to collab. I think that's how it is. Everybody wants to get to be the number one, get there first to the big prize.
Yeah, because for now, you do have better AIs for each thing. Like, we use Perplexity for all the research.
Yeah.
We don't use ChatGPT for research.
Let's just be honest. When you use LLM like ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, Gemini, whatever, they want you to use it. Okay, they're making money from you using it. They are learning from you. This is a fact. They will not be successful without it. That's why they launch for free. They don't have a choice. They can try and monetize it as best the way as possible. But if any one of them were to go full monetary, so many people lose they aren't able to compete because they need your data. They need your input. They need to learn from you. This is a fact. Okay, so. In reality, we're calling it the AI bubble, you know? OpenAI is losing $3 for every one they're making. This is actually a big thing that people don't know about, and I'm going to go back to you. I think actually the healthcare industry is the number one, but there will be other industries that you will find niches in, but it will not be in LLMs, general knowledge-based systems that are trying to, that are readily accessible. You have to give it away for free because you need that data. And the second you don't collect data, you are now behind. And that's why we're going to see these juggernauts. We're going to have so many few new LLMs enter the market. Because they have to get all this years of data, 5 years that all these juggernauts have collected. So it's a sad thing that we're seeing here. But yeah, there's plenty of other money to be made in other industries. But I love it. I love it.
We just have to look for the market that needs us.
Sure.
With AI.
Sure. Going back to the hard question though, what's your success rate? What was it back then before 2020?
Well,
what was it?
It's hard to account for because I had an in-house translator job, and so I was basically I had a salary, like a fixed salary.
Let's say you weren't collecting any data. That's fine. What about estimate? Just give or take. What are your thoughts? I just want to, I'm just curious. Yeah, because I have thoughts already on when I was using ChatGPT 3 and then even having the beta testing before. I have thoughts. I'm just curious as to how good, in terms of language translation, and because language translation is the idea of understanding language. That is the core concept. So I can get an idea from.
I don't know. I would have to.
I'm sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot. It's okay. You don't want to answer. That's all right.
Yeah,
Maybe a little embarrassing.
I don't want to just.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's fine. I would have to think about it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's fascinating. I'm going to give a little speech about myself, and then we're all going to mingle, and then we'll take it off. Please, sir. Hi, everybody. My name is James Jacobs, and I've been in business for a long time. I've been an entrepreneur for over 2 decades now. I was an entrepreneur while I was in college. Currently, I have a business right now. It's in a newspaper, and I have a magazine article that's coming out. We make quite a lot of money, and I'm very successful in that. But most of my focus is actually going to a new startup project of mine. I've been successful at flipping businesses throughout my life, but I think I finally have found the golden goose that I want to settle down on. So I have this new business. It's called AGI Therapy. AGI is just a marketing term. Just like how OpenAI marketed AI. I already know. But my point is that we're actually going to therapy, and there are a lot of competitors in therapy, but we're the only one that is actually going for FDA approval. That is correct. That is actually what we are seeking currently. We're working right now to try and launch in India because the regulations here in the States are so strict. There's already a lot of companies that are getting sued right now. Don't want to risk it. If we could become the first to become approved for FDA's electronic therapeutic. That is their application. It's $112,000. And
what kind of therapy?
General therapy. Psychology. No, not psychiatry. Okay. Not psychiatry. Psychology. Okay. Psychology. Yes. In fact, we want to expand. We think that the medical field is really where it's at. You know why? Because currently there are the major conglomerates that are having free AI services. So people don't want to pay for AI. You know who does pay for AI? Insurance companies. That's who will pay for AI. So if we're FDA approved, we can actually bill insurance providers. That's a huge step forward. You know how much is in therapy? You don't have a clue. I'll tell you how much is in therapy. It's actually the #1 most profitable phone call in any industry. Any industry. You can go into sales, you can go into tech support, you can go into any industry. Therapy is the number one. $120 in the United States is the average per session. That's half an hour session, mind you. That's $240 an hour, okay? You must know, my friend, that AI right now is hardly making any money in voice calling. In fact, I actually am a partner in a voice calling company, okay? And we do sales, we do tech support, we also do scheduling, conferences, that kind of thing. And we're making about $5 an hour, which is about the same as what you're making on a phone caller in the Philippines. Okay, there's a reason for why your main companies are not using AI voice calling. Does Apple have an AI voice call center? No. Does Amazon? No. There's a reason for why. Because the expenses are pretty high, the profit margins are very low. It's just not there. Medical field, man. Medical field margins are so high. I mean, right off the bat, we can undercut $60 a session. Still $120, 24x in profit. Forget the $5 an hour profit, 24x in profit. Yeah, $120. Now we're talking king of the world. How much is in the industry here? $92 billion was spent last year in insurance providers alone in this country, United States. $92 billion. Okay. Now there are some setbacks, plenty. For one, therapy is just not used in most of the world. I don't know if you know this, but like India, it's not used at all. We're actually having to educate people. We're actually looking at some of these expensive cities in India, and we are tailoring these cities because they're wealthy and they do have insurance. It's a lot easier to get approved in their insurance. And the younger generation all speak English. They all speak English. You know how many dialects are in India? There's literally thousands. Okay, almost every city speaks a different dialect. It's actually quite disgusting. For an AI tackling perspective, right? But the youth are speaking English. It's mandated in all schools. In fact, a lot of the youth wish their family spoke English. So it's actually a very good market to enter. And there's such a huge population. You're talking about 1/4 of the population lives in India. So that's currently what we're looking at. The FDA approval process is going to be probably about a year and a half, guys. Okay, it's 6 months. We're doing free study where I have to fund this. I have my own server farm. I have my own immersion cooling tank. I designed, by the way. This is something I designed. We're running, and it's utilized for very efficiency. It's all local. It has to be local. By laws, you cannot have patient information in the cloud. Okay, it's patient confidentiality agreement. Okay, it's very common. So this has to be stored all locally. We are not storing any audio. It's actually too big on information. We're actually doing everything is being translated directly. So we have a translation and then being summarized into a text document. So after years of therapy, your patient has, weeks, every week they have therapy. So they have, hundreds of these sessions, and an AI can read these documents, small text files, and review everything before the phone call. We have a completely new proprietary system. I'll even show it to you. I'll show you the patent I've already filed, the preliminary. I will show it to you guys. I just don't want you to take a picture of it, okay? But my point is that we have a lot of things that are going on. This is a very difficult thing to tackle. It's such a difficult thing, but there's a lot of reward. Let me tell you, therapy is a soft science. It's not a hard science. You have an issue, you have an infection, gangrene or something. A doctor tells you this, you're probably not going to second guess it. You know what the odds are of a false positive? Very low. But in therapy, the average person is going through 4 or 5 therapists to find the right one. And not only that, but 72% of adults are undiagnosed for mental illness. 72%. We think often therapy's for kids and severe trauma and stuff. But no, there's a lot of people with unresolved issues. And it's a very beneficial service that most of the world is unaware of. So, we're going fully autonomous. you have to realize that the barrier is that we don't want a tool. The psychologist is not going to pay for it, and the billing provider is not going to pay for it either, because they have to pay for our therapist and the tool. So you have to make it fully autonomous to where you can cut the doctor's fee, because it gets very expensive. Now, do we think that we're going to be the best? No. Our metrics for approval on this electronic therapeutic are pretty clear. We're looking at at least a minimum of a 20% behavioral improvement as a minimum, with a 20% diagnosis within under the DSM-5 standards. Okay, so this is a mental health diagnosis that is not an affirmative diagnosis, something that you can give to a therapist, because obviously therapists are missing things. Okay, we realize that there's a lot of soft sciences. Okay, lots. For one, MRI scanning. Okay, being able to see cancer. Okay, humans are really weak at it, but AI is really good at it. And this is another one of those things where humans miss so much information. It's not an exact science. What we're getting at, our results, we actually think we can be superior to humans in diagnosing DSM-5 standards. We can be superior. That is actually the goal. But even if we don't get to that metric, as long as we can go above the 20% rule, that's to show that there is a scientific correlation, because anything below that could just be based on the placebo effect or any other metrics or false positives, right? So that's currently where we are headed now, is to actually do medical approved FDA therapy, and that's the goal. We have a 6-people team. You can check us out, agitherapy.tech. That's our domain. We have a full presentation. I'd love to talk to you and work with any one of you guys. But that's basically me. If you have any questions, I'm here for you.
You didn't get who paying the service, like is your customer?
Oh, my customer is the insurance. No, actually, so technically the customer is the patient.
Okay, the
patient.
But you're selling to who?
But the insurance provider is paying for it.
Okay.
So we've already talked with a few insurance providers here locally. I have a meeting with Anthem, and I have the CEO of Kaiser Permanente here in Oakland. Okay, Gregory Adams.
You have Blue Shield right here.
Yes, exactly, correct. And I have not established connections yet, but I'm hoping we will eventually. But the insurance providers not only do they want a fund, but they also want a free market. They want to market the thing for free because it saves them money. If I can cut their cost by half, and this is a service that if it doesn't work, it refers you out. This is another very important thing. If our metrics show that you're not improving, we refer you then to a psychologist. You know, that's just how it is. But we think that most therapy visits, and this is statistics, show that it's about 4 to 5 months. People go to therapy not for consistent use. They go to it because a father died. They go to it because of a relationship breakup. This is the standard thing in therapy. And we think that our AI bot can actually be better than a human. But for somebody who has consistent needs, maybe a human is better. But if we can, at least achieve and meet the demands of the majority, that's what we're going for.
I know Blue Shield has, since the pandemic is being translated for them, they have been investing in mental health a lot. Like every single letter, because of confidentiality, we have to translate every single letter they send out to a patient. They call it member, but it's a patient. Most of the letters had to do with mental health.
Oh yeah.
And that changed in 2020. Before that, there wasn't so much talk about mental health, at least with Blue Shield. And after that, we translated so many letters that had to do with mental health, like people requesting, their insurance to cover more psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever. So people are interested in more mental health help now after the pandemic, I would say.
I couldn't agree more. Especially in today's isolation economy, there's definitely need for more mental health services. The demand is so high. Oftentimes people are waiting 3 months to see somebody. This is standard here in this country, okay? Think about having a service where you don't have to miss work. That's another thing. Therapy in this country is 8 to 5. Now, traditionally, it used to be in person. That's gone away. 80% of it now is over the phone, which is great. But the reality is that you're dealing with limitations that oftentimes are unrealistic for people. How often can somebody take a half hour off? And schedule it only on their lunch break. That's very unrealistic. So being able to have therapy in the middle of the night, why not? What if you're in crisis? What if you're thinking about going to alcohol and booze or something? Having someone to talk to right then and there, that could actually be a real important thing. The difference is that this is advice that is legal, and I'm of the hard belief that none of these LLMs should be giving any form of advice that can actually damage or hurt people.
Are you going to show that your DSM-5 evaluations are correct?
Yes, absolutely. Because what we're doing right now, we're actually trying to partner with the Stanford Psychology Department and using what they already have a list of patients that have a full screening, and then we can have our AI in the loop as a third wheel, where it can listen from the psychologist and the therapist to the actual patient, and at the end it can come up with its own conclusions after a certain amount of sessions. It will determine, and what's great, it will say something like, oh, I think the patient has a 17% chance of schizophrenia, but then maybe after a few sessions it will go down, or maybe it will go up in its confidence, okay, based on its data. But being able to then, at a certain point, tell the AI what the actual results are, and have that feedback is very important. The main limitation in my business, and I know this, the bottleneck in my business, if you wanted to call it that, is we rely on real-time data. That's a huge problem. Okay, how long did it take Waymo driving around here in the city? How long did it take them to be successful? 7 years. 7 years. Okay, so that's 7 years, and that's about 50 of these devices. You know why? Because the golden rule in AI, guys, is generally you need about 200 years of machine learning. 200 years is a lot of hours, a lot of minutes, okay? That's what you generally need. So I actually had a buddy who worked for Waymo, and he told me everything about how they do things. And they have these guys that go out, and they actually pull the CPUs out of the cars and everything, and they compile them into a big data center every day. And they just keep doing that to get to that 200 years for all these different devices. So that's what we're at. We're at, how do we get to the 200 years? That's where the 6-month study comes out. We have a certain amount of time under a certain amount of patients that we believe, based on my GSM gateway system, it's all over the phone and it's all local, cellular. It's not internet. It's way faster, okay? So that's how, and it's all storage, it's local. We have huge server farms, so it's fast. It's not slow. It's not cloud. No. So yeah, that's how we're doing it currently. The speeds are really good. I listened to yours. I thought your speeds were very good. I just want to let you know. So you're probably doing something local storage too.
The
yes?
latency was good, besides on the place where I told him the number, but that was actually unusual. It was unusual. Maybe
okay. Yeah. See, you know what it is. I hate it when I'm on the phone and with some of these AI and it takes forever to respond.
Yeah. Usually it
you
does
just want to
take.
hang up. That's unprofessional. Yeah. So having a local storage and a local device for everything, very, very, very critical for this particular application. Okay?
Set up.
So your interface is a phone call.
Yes.
It's not a chat. It's not a video call.
That is correct.
It's a phone call.
That is correct.
Okay.
It's a GSM gateway system that is taking cellular as SIM cards and it's funneling it through a network on our local server system. So it's all hardware based. So the let's say Amazon AWS goes down, we're okay, no problem. So yeah. No, we really thought about this. Yeah, because system congestion, sorry, that was what I was trying to say. It's a big issue. It's a big issue. So you want to mitigate that as much as possible. Okay. But that's pretty much where we're at.
Right.
Any other questions? I'm here to answer anything, guys. Been in this
You're
industry.
using your product.
Huh?
You're using your product. Of course.
I actually have a big history with therapy. I've been in therapy for a long time. time. I believe in therapy. I think therapy is great. But yeah, you better use your own product because you need to believe in it. And everyone should be using their own products because they need to believe in it themselves. Don't put something out that you're not really confident
You
in.
have to be the first subject.
Yes, absolutely. Put yourself out.
So, a lot of people are using like ChatGPT as a therapist these days.
It's terrible.
I know it's terrible. I know it's terrible, but people are using it anyway.
Yeah, I know.
And my question is like, okay, let's say I'm looking for therapy. I could go look at my health insurance and figure out if it covers like AGI therapy, and then maybe I use that for therapy, right? Which has better results, like based on what you were saying. But like maybe that has like a limit on how much my insurance covers, or maybe I have to get a deductible on that.
Once
What
a
if-
week is what insurance providers are generally doing.
and so why would I not instead just go for like maybe I'll try out ChatGPT for a little bit and see if that like produces good results for me and it's free. I'm like a free user, right?
Oh man, I sympathize with you completely. That is the logical solution to what you are saying, 100%. The best thing that I can do is we have to find a way to educate the general public. And I think that that's going to happen eventually. There is already a lot of YouTube awareness on certain lawsuits that are currently in action right now.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of people have lost their lives to AI, and this is very, very sad. I have a lot of competitors currently in this market that I think are just API clones of another LLM, and it's really sad and pathetic. Okay, I mean, if you're not even going to attempt to try, because therapy is a different medium, guys. Okay, here I'll give you an example. In a standard LLM, it's input driven. Okay, this is important. It's input driven, so it's not just going to start leading a conversation. You have to prompt it. You have to input. Okay. In therapy, it has to be output driven. It has to be. Okay, it has to be leading the conversation, and it has to figure out what it needs to tell you in order to solve your problems. Right? It has to be thinking this through. So we have a completely different prompting system and a provisional patent and so forth on this new design that is an output system instead of an input system design. So there's a lot of things that I think are just fundamentally wrong in terms of approaches that my competitors are doing. I think they're looking at it as very cheap, and a lot of them are not even making any money off it, which is even sadder. Because they're putting themselves at risk of a huge lawsuit for not barely any money. It's like you see what I'm saying? But I think to kind of answer your question. We need some type of awareness. I think AI girlfriends is a bad thing, and that's not even legal advice. That's not giving you advice on what to do. But I will tell you, in the future, we will see men suing OpenAI and other chatbots because their wife left them because ChatGPT told them to. That will become a thing, and now I'm suing you for alimony and all this stuff. That will happen. That will happen. You will see lawsuits of the most ridiculous kind because of advice that ended up being a misfortune. And I don't think AI should be giving advice. I don't think it should be even a relationship. We should be using it as a tool. Come on, can we just all agree? Can't we just use it as a
Definitely.
tool right now? When we start
If you think about
personalizing
it,
it.
it's not giving advice. What AI is doing to all of us is telling us what we want to hear.
That's true.
If you want to know something objective,
Right.
it will give you sometimes, not always, but it will give you, you can ask for sources, whatever. But if it's more subjective,
Right.
like what should I do with my girlfriend, blah, 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 whatever, you can even say that you've been feeding the AI in a way that it kind of knows you.
Right.
So it would tell you what to do, what to say, but it's actually what you want to hear.
No. You're spot on. Let me tell you, this is why you can't use an LLM. This is why you have to train your own models from the ground up. Because you can get a patient who's on the phone, and their doctors told them that, look, you have to cut your diet or else you're gonna die. You just had a triple bypass. You know, this is a huge problem, and yet, you know, it can. The patient is telling the AI, but I really want to eat. But I really want to eat. The AI is now agreeing with them because, you know, I want to eat the 72-ounce steak there. Go for it. Okay, AI is saying go for it. Yes. I mean, that is a problem. That is a problem. That's why what we are doing right now, my AI is not really agreeing. My AI doesn't listens to your input as informational processing only and analyzing why you think such. And maybe there's an issue with your thinking, but it's not actually taking your opinion into consideration. So it's a whole, and that's a huge thing. That is a problem. Okay, giving legal advice. Okay, here. I'm a casino, guys. One of my guys is suing me. Why? Because they're claiming that he was too drunk, and now I took advantage of him in that process. That already happens. Yeah. Where you see people suing, saying that this casino took advantage of me while I was under the influence, and now I'm suing you for all the losses. That you can look at this as a precedent. Now let's take that a step further. I can get ChatGPT right now to give me gambling advice. It can tell me to bet on red or black. I can do that. I can make sure, and I can tell it, this is my life savings, ChatGPT. What should I bet on? And it will give me an answer. So why the hell should I be able to sue them for me losing my money if I can sue a casino for manipulating me? These are logical things that you need to consider in this industry, and I think that there's a lot of immature people that are in this that have not thought about all these legal consequences. They should be scared like me. They should be wanting to go the FDA route, because then if somebody wants to sue you, you sue the FDA because they approved it, baby. You don't sue me, because lawsuits, medical lawsuits, are in the millions. They're huge lawsuits. It's not baby lawsuits. It's a huge deal. So. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna share you one of my designs, and then we're gonna let everyone go.